The war room aboard the Alliance flagship Eternal Vigilance buzzed with tension. Holographic displays flickered across the curved walls, showing star maps scattered with red warning symbols. Commander Velkara, a towering Threxian with 4 arms and crystalline skin, stood at the center, her mandibles clicking nervously. "Show me again," she demanded. The tactical officer, a floating jellyfish-like aquaron named Suris, manipulated the controls with its bioluminescent tentacles. The hologram shifted, displaying a massive dark shape drifting through the void sector. "The Devourer," Suris whispered, its voice like wind through reeds. 17 civilizations have fallen to it in 3 cycles. Population 0. Survivors none. Velkara's third eye blinked slowly. The Devourer wasn't just a warship. It was extinction given form. 3 kilometers of jagged obsidian hull, covered in what looked like breathing flesh. Weapons that didn't just destroy, they unmade reality itself. Entire planets had been reduced to quantum dust. The Council's decision? Velkara asked, though she already knew. They're evacuating the Eastern Quadrant, abandoning 12 systems, 18 billion souls told to flee into deep space. Silence fell like a hammer. Then the door hissed open. Every head turned, every sensor focused on the newcomers. 3 figures walked in, and they walked differently than any species in the Alliance. Not the graceful glide of the ethereals, not the calculated precision of the synthetics. They walked with purpose, with weight, with something primal that made ancient instincts whisper warnings. Humans. The lead human was a woman named Captain Sarah Chen, her dark hair pulled back, her eyes carrying the weight of 100 battles. Behind her stood Commander Marcus Wright, a mountain of muscle and scars, and Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, small and silent, her hands never far from her sidearm. "Commander Velkara," Chen said, her voice steady. "We received your distress beacon." Velkara's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement or disdain. "You shouldn't have come. Humans joined the Alliance 3 cycles ago. You have 5 colony worlds and 43 ships. The Devourer has ended empires 1,000 times your size." Chen smiled, and there was something terrifying in it. "We're aware of the threat assessment." "Then you know this is suicide. We know this is necessary." Suris drifted closer, its tentacles glowing anxiously. "Captain Chen, perhaps you don't understand." The Devourer's weapons tear through quantum shielding. Its hull absorbs energy attacks. It learns, adapts, and grows stronger with every battle. The Xinthian Armada threw 10,000 ships at it. The Devourer emerged with 12,000. "It converts defeated ships?" Wright asked, his deep voice rumbling. "It consumes them. Technology, crew, everything. It's not just a warship. It's a predator that eats civilizations." Tanaka spoke for the first time, her voice soft but cutting. "Then it's never faced prey that bites back." Velkara's crystalline skin darkened, a Threxian expression of frustration. "Your bravado is admirable but meaningless. The Council has voted. Evacuation is the only option." Chen stepped forward, and despite being half Velkara's height, she seemed to fill the room. "Commander, humanity didn't join the Alliance to run when things get hard. We came because we've seen what happens when good people do nothing against evil." "This isn't evil," Velkara said quietly. "This is nature, a force beyond morality. Then we'll be the force beyond nature." The room went silent. Even the holographic displays seemed to dim. "What are you proposing?" Suris asked. Chen activated her wrist device. A new hologram appeared, a ship, smaller than the Devourer, barely a third its size, but there was something wrong about it. Asymmetrical, brutal, covered in armor plating that looked like it had been welded during active combat. "This is the Prometheus Rising," Chen said, "our newest warship. It doesn't have quantum shields or reality anchors. It doesn't have graviton lances or dimensional torpedoes. Then what does it have?" Velkara asked. Wright grinned, and it was the grin of a wolf. "Everything your enemies evolved past 1,000,000 years ago. Everything you forgot how to fear." Tanaka pulled up the specifications. The Alliance officers stared in confusion and growing horror. Kinetic weapons. Missiles with chemical explosives. Railguns that used electromagnetic acceleration. Nuclear warheads. Biological warfare protocols. Armor made of depleted uranium and carbon nanotubes. Internal gravity generators that could increase to 15 Gs. Corridors designed for hand-to-hand combat. "This is primitive," Velkara said slowly. "This is proven," Chen corrected. "For 10,000 years, humanity fought itself. We got very, very good at killing. Then we stopped fighting each other and started wondering what we'd do if something out here needed killing. Sarissa's tentacles curled in distress. The Devourer will adapt to your weapons in minutes. Then we'll have minutes to make them count. Velkara looked at the three humans, at their scars and their steady eyes, and their absolute certainty. She thought of 18 billion lives running into the dark. She thought of the Council's defeated faces. She thought of the Devourer, unstoppable, inevitable, growing fat on civilizations. If I allow this, she said slowly, you'll die, all of you. Chen's smile never wavered. Commander, humans don't do this to survive. We do this so others can. The war room was silent except for the hum of the ship's engines and the distant pulse of stars being born and dying. Finally, Velkara's mandibles clicked in what might have been respect. Show me your plan, Chen nodded, gladly. But I should warn you, it's going to sound insane. I would expect nothing less, Velkara said. Outside the viewport, the stars glittered, and somewhere in the darkness, the Devourer continued its hunt. But now, for the first time in 3 cycles, it was about to discover something new. It was about to discover that some prey hunts back. The briefing room aboard the Prometheus Rising smelled like oil, ozone, and something the alien observers couldn't identify. Human sweat mixed with determination. Captain Chen stood before a holographic display showing the void sector. Around her, 50 human crew members sat in magnetic boots and combat gear. At the back of the room, Commander Velkara watched with her security detail, their weapons lowered but ready. Listen up, Chen said, her voice carrying the weight of command. In 6 hours, we intercept the Devourer at the Kepler 442 junction. Intelligence says it's heading for the sanctuary worlds. 3 billion civilians with nowhere to run. The hologram shifted, showing the massive alien warship in all its horrifying detail. Velkara heard gasps from the human crew, but they were different from the gasps of other species. Not pure fear. Something mixed with it. Anticipation. Our mission is simple, Chen continued. Buy time for the evacuation fleet. Every minute we keep that thing busy is 10,000 lives saved. Captain, a young human engineer raised her hand. The Devourer's adaptive shielding can counter any weapon after initial contact. How do we don't give it time to adapt. Chen pulled up new schematics. This is the Prometheus protocol. 3-phase assault using pre-digital warfare tactics combined with cutting-edge quantum disruption. Wright stepped forward, his massive frame blocking the hologram briefly. Phase 1. We hit it with everything it expects. Plasma torpedoes, graviton pulse, the works. It'll adapt, get confident. Phase 2. Tanaka continued, her fingers dancing across her datapad. We go kinetic. Railgun bombardment using tungsten penetrators traveling at 0.15 light speed. No energy signature to absorb, just raw physics. And Phase 3? Velkara asked, unable to contain her curiosity. Chen's smile was cold. We board it. The room exploded in protest, not from the humans, but from Velkara's security detail. Madness. One of them shouted. No boarding party has survived contact with the Devourer's interior. No Alliance boarding party, Wright corrected. Your species use combat drones and energy weapons. We're going old school. He pulled up footage that made Velkara's crystalline skin ripple in discomfort. Human soldiers in powered armor, carrying weapons that used controlled explosions to propel metal projectiles, blades made of monomolecular carbon, grenades that released shrapnel, flamethrowers. These are museum pieces, Velkara protested. These are problem solvers, Chen replied. The Devourer's interior is organic technology hybrid. It adapts to energy weapons by absorbing and redistributing power. It can't adapt to a bullet moving faster than its neural response time. It can't absorb fire. It can't heal from monomolecular cuts. Tanaka pulled up biological scans. Our intel, courtesy of the last survivor from the Zynthian Armada, shows the Devourer has a central nexus. A brain, basically. Destroy that and the whole ship goes dark. You'll never reach it, Velkara said quietly. The interior is a maze. It shifts. It creates defenses specifically designed to kill intruders. Then it's never fought humans in close quarters. Wright said, Ma'am, with respect, your people evolved past violence. You solved problems with technology, diplomacy, advancement. Beautiful things. He checked his assault rifle, the mechanical click echoing in the silent room. We evolved with violence. For 10,000 years, we got better at killing each other. We studied it, perfected it. Then we stopped and swore never again. But we never forgot how. Chen nodded. The Devourer is a predator. It's used to prey that runs or fights from a distance. We're going to do what predators fear most. What's that? Surus asked, having floated into the room silently. We're going to make it bleed in its own den. The hologram shifted again, showing the assault plan in detail. It was insane, brilliant, and insane. The Prometheus Rising would position itself directly in the Devourer's path. Phase 1 would make it angry, make it engage. Phase 2 would punch through its hull using kinetic weapons it couldn't absorb. Then, while it was repairing, Phase 3, 60 human Marines would launch from breaching pods, cutting through its exterior, and racing toward the central nexus. How do we know where the nexus is? One of the crew asked. Tanaka smiled grimly. Because I'm going to hack its navigation systems during Phase 1 and download its schematics. That's impossible, Velkara said. The Devourer's systems are encrypted. With quantum algorithms that assume digital security, Tanaka interrupted. I'm using something better. Social engineering and zero-day exploits written in languages that predate faster than light travel. If it's smart enough to adapt, it's smart enough to be curious. And curiosity is a vulnerability. Chen looked around the room. I won't lie. This mission has a low survival probability. Anyone who wants out, speak now. No judgment. Silence. Then Wright laughed, a deep sound that seemed impossible given the circumstances. Captain, with respect, we're humans. Low survival probability is Tuesday. The crew laughed, and it was a sound Velkara had never heard before. Not desperation, not fatalism. Something else. Joy in the face of impossible odds. One more thing, Chen said, her voice cutting through the laughter. The Devourer learns from every battle. It adapts, it grows stronger, so we only get one shot at this. If we fail, it'll be immune to everything we throw at it. Then we don't fail, a Marine in the back said simply. Chen nodded. Gear up, 6 hours until contact. Dismissed. The crew filed out, checking weapons, running diagnostics, saying quiet goodbyes just in case. Velkara approached Chen as the room emptied. You really believe you can kill it? The Threxian commander asked. Chen looked at the hologram of the Devourer, at its 3 kilometers of death and darkness. Commander, humans have a saying. If it bleeds, we can kill it. And if it doesn't bleed, Chen's smile was sharp as broken glass. Then we'll make it learn how. Outside, the Prometheus Rising powered up its engines. Weapon systems that shouldn't work against advanced technology hummed to life. In the armory, Marines loaded magazines with simple ancient bullets, and in the darkness of space, the Devourer continued its approach, unaware that evolution sometimes moves backward, unaware that sometimes the old ways are the best ways, unaware that humanity had come to teach it one final lesson. The Prometheus Rising looked like a toy next to the Devourer. Captain Chen stood on the bridge, watching through the viewport as the massive alien warship materialized from quantum space. Up close, it was worse than the hollows. The hull wasn't just obsidian. It moved, rippling like skin over muscle. Thousands of weapon ports opened and closed like breathing mouths. Distance 20,000 kilometers and closing, the navigator called out. All stations report ready, Wright added from tactical. Chen activated the fleet-wide comm. Evacuation fleet, this is Prometheus. You have your window, use it. Velkara's voice crackled back from the eternal vigilance, now positioned safely behind the engagement zone. Captain Chen, humanity thanks you for your sacrifice. Save the eulogy, Commander. We're not dead yet. Chen switched to internal comms. All hands, this is the captain. Today we show the galaxy what humans do best. We fight, not because we hate what's in front of us, but because we love what's behind us. Make every shot count. The Devourer's sensors locked onto the Prometheus Rising. A sound echoed through space. Impossible, but every ship heard it. A low, hungry growl. It's hailing us, Tanaka said, her voice tense. Audio only. Put it through. The voice that came through the speakers wasn't a voice. It was a chorus, 1,000 dying screams synthesized into words. Small, weak, insignificant. You will be consumed. You will be forgotten. You will feed the hunger. Chen leaned forward. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the human warship Prometheus Rising. You've feasted on civilizations that forgot how to fight. You've grown fat on species that evolved past violence. She smiled coldly. Welcome to humanity. We didn't evolve past anything. Phase 1. Commence, Wright said. The Prometheus unleashed everything the Devourer expected. Plasma torpedoes streaked through space, brilliant blue-white. Graviton pulses rippled reality. Quantum missiles phased through normal space. The Devourer's hull shimmered. Every weapon was absorbed, energy redistributed, attacks nullified. It's adapting, the tactical officer reported. Shields at 400% efficiency. It's using our own attacks to strengthen itself. Good, Chen said. Tanaka, you're up. While the Devourer focused on defensive adaptation, Tanaka's fingers flew across her console. Hidden in the plasma torpedo telemetry was a virus, not quantum, not digital in any way the Devourer would recognize. It was written in assembly language and binary, in coding languages from humanity's pre-space age. I'm in, Tanaka whispered. Its systems are so advanced they don't even recognize this as a threat. It's like using a paper map in a world of quantum GPS. Download everything. Schematics, power distribution, neural pathways. On it. 30 seconds. The Devourer fired back. Reality warping beams lashed out, hitting the Prometheus shields. Alarm screamed. Shields at 60%, Wright called out. We can't take many more hits. We won't have to. Phase 2. Now. The Prometheus Rising rotated, exposing its dorsal spine. 20 railgun cannons, ancient technology made perfect, charged with electromagnetic fury. Fire. Tungsten penetrators, each weighing 2 tons, accelerated to 15% light speed. No energy signature, no quantum fluctuation, just mass and velocity. The Devourer's shields, designed to absorb and redirect energy, did nothing. The penetrators slammed into its hull like the fist of an angry god. Organic metal armor shattered. Internal chambers depressurized. For the first time in 3 cycles, the Devourer screamed. Hull breaches confirmed, Tanaka shouted triumphantly. Sending coordinates to boarding teams. Phase 3, Chen said, standing. Right, you have the bridge. Captain, you should... I'm going with the boarding teams. If this fails, someone needs to see it through to the end. She grabbed her helmet. Besides, I didn't come this far to watch from a screen. Wright gripped her shoulder. Make it count, ma'am. Always do. The breaching pod hit the Devourer's hull like a bullet through flesh. The airlock cycled, and Captain Chen led 60 human Marines into hell. The interior was a nightmare. Walls of pulsing tissue and corroded metal. The air was thick, toxic, filled with spores that the human suit filters struggled to process. Things moved in the shadows, defense drones, biological constructs, hybrid horrors. Nexus is 3 clicks northwest, Chen said, reading Tanaka's data. Fast and quiet, go. They moved like they'd trained for years, because they had. Urban warfare, close quarters combat, fighting in confined spaces against superior numbers. Every human had learned these skills not for war against each other, but for this moment. The Devourer sent its defenses. Drones with energy weapons. Chen's team met them with bullets. Simple, chemical propellant bullets that the drone's adaptive armor couldn't counter fast enough. Biological constructs, things with too many limbs and acid for blood. The Marines met them with fire, with blades, with brutal efficiency. Contact front, a Marine shouted. A horror emerged from the walls, 3 meters tall, covered in blades, eyes everywhere. Chen didn't hesitate. She pulled a grenade from her belt, fragmentation, pre-space age technology, and threw it. The explosion was crude, inelegant, and absolutely devastating against organic tissue. They pushed forward, leaving destruction in their wake. The Devourer tried to adapt, tried to seal corridors, tried to flood chambers with toxins. But for every adaptation, humanity had a counter 10,000 years old. Finally, they reached it. The Nexus. A massive chamber, walls covered in neural tissue, pulsing with bioluminescent light. At the center, a brain the size of a small ship suspended in amniotic fluid. "Remember," Chen said, breathing hard, "this thing has ended civilizations. It's consumed billions. It thinks it's the apex predator." She raised her assault rifle, and 60 Marines did the same. "Let's teach it that apex predators can go extinct." They opened fire, bullets, grenades, fire, and fury. The Nexus shrieked, the walls convulsed. The Devourer, for the first time in its existence, knew fear, and then silence. On the bridge of the Prometheus rising, Wright watched the Devourer's energy signature collapse. "Boss?" he said into the comm. "Talk to me." Static. Then, "Mission accomplished. The nightmare's over. Requesting extraction." Wright's grin could have lit up the bridge. "Copy that. Welcome home, Captain." Throughout the void sector, sensors registered the impossible. The Devourer was dead. On the eternal vigilance, Velkara stared at her displays in stunned silence. Then she activated her comm. "Captain Chen, the Alliance owes you a debt we can never repay." Chen's laugh came through, tired but alive. "Commander, you can buy the first round when we dock. That'll be payment enough." As the evacuation fleet reversed course, as 18 billion souls learned they could go home, as the Galactic Alliance realized that humanity had changed everything, one truth became clear. The galaxy had spent 1,000,000 years evolving past violence. Humanity had spent 10,000 years perfecting it. And sometimes, when the monsters come, you need someone who remembers how to be monstrous back. The Prometheus rising turned toward home. Its hull scarred but intact, its crew exhausted but victorious. And in the darkness of space, a new legend was born. The legend of the day humanity taught the galaxy's worst nightmare how to die.